welcome to episode 53 of the Knit Sip Happy podcast. My name is Nancy and I'm coming to you from the east coast of Canada, just outside of Moncton, New Brunswick in Canada. Welcome. Nice to see you. It is another outdoor episode. It is overcast and weather tells me it's not going to rain. I'm not sure I believe it. It's muggy, a little bit breezy. Not too much in the way of birds today, but we'll see how we do. I am knitting, I am drinking, I am sipping a little dry white. It's a double blanc. It was a custom blend for us this year. It's a Sauvignon Blanc and a Chenin Blanc blend from Australia. So really nice, a little bit fruity, but still nice and crisp and dry. Quite nice. What I am wearing, I'll put in a picture up here in the corner because I'm not going to stand up. This is Naveen by Kate Oates. I knit this probably 3 summers ago. Really nice V-neck short sleeve tee with A-line shaping built into it with a high-low hem at the back. You'll see from the pictures I'll put in, it shows there's an eyelet detail that runs down each side and gives the increases for the A-line shaping, and then again this bit of a scoop lower hem at the back. I knitted out of Ilmani Sabri, and if I'm honest, I would knit this for a fall, winter, early spring garment. It's a cotton. Can't remember the exact makeup. I'll put it on the screen. My Ravelry page will be linked below. It's pretty warm. I said it says it's only 18 degrees out here this morning. I don't really believe it. The humidity is making it feel a lot warmer. I thought I'd be okay in this, but I could be a little shiny by the time we're done. Yeah, I would knit with this yarn again because I did enjoy it, but I don't think I would do it for a summer tee. So everything I talk about will be linked below. My Ravelry project pages will be linked, and there will also be chapters. So if you want to skip ahead and don't want to, sorry, I'm looking in the wrong place. If you don't want to watch a certain segment, you can skip on by. So today we've got a little bit of everything. I've got FOs, whips, quite a bit of spinning because Tour de Fleece is happening right now. I've been watching a little bit of the Tour de France as my schedule allows. And we've got a giftaway winner coming. I've pulled that winner this morning for the July 3-year Podiversary giveaway. And I'm looking at my notes down here, sorry. And I owe you some pictures. Last time I was here, I showed you 2 tops for my daughter Sam. The Amelie tee, which she got me a modeled picture. She wasn't happy with it. I thought she looked really cute wearing with a pair of shorts, a little tie waist short, just tucked in the front a little bit. I think it looked really cute. So I showed you that stripy Amelie tee last time that I'd finished, so she very kindly took modeled pictures. The other one I have to show you is the Summer Session tank by Samantha Guerin. The pattern has now been released, so I can share pictures of Sam wearing that. We took those pictures back in June in Shediac at the Atlantic Yarn Fibre Festival. She wore it that day, but we took these nice pictures and now I can show them to you. So she's loving it. It's been quite warm and muggy here, and her office doesn't have air conditioning, so it's been good for her to wear to the office. So I think that was all I owed you from the last episode. To finish off this episode, we were out in our classic 1960 Thunderbird on Canada Day, July 1st. So I've got a little bit of footage from that afternoon out to wrap up the episode later on. All right, let's get into the FOs. There is so much beside me here that I couldn't fit it all in my podcasting basket. So, all right. So FOs, I have finished this month, or this last 3 weeks was a practice in getting long-standing whips finished. So these aren't exactly long-standing, but they've been around. So these are Rob's socks for Christmas, my son-in-law. This is a self-drafted pattern, just using one of my toe up. Yeah. Couldn't remember there for a second. Did I do it cuff down or toe up? I did it toe up. Just put it on a blocker. So contrast, heel, and sorry, that's a toe. We're starting off well. And a cuff. And I just did this slip stitch grid kind of pattern running up. I'm sure there's something out there written like this. Yeah, it was using Knit Picks tweed. I can't remember the colors. It'll be linked in my project page below. And yeah, these will get tucked away for Rob for Christmas. He's going to be deployed again this year for Christmas, so I don't know whether I'll send a care package over to him in December or I'll get Sam to pack it in his bag. I'm not sure yet. So these are done. Where am I going to put these? So the other pair that I got finished that has been, ooh, here comes the sun. All right. Let's see what that does to our lighting. This pair has not been blocked. My sock blockers went, these are my size sock blockers, they went astray. They got taken home by somebody from the Atlantic Yarn Fibre Festival, and I just got them back this week, so I didn't have time to block. These are the Dune Grass socks, which is one of my patterns. So I used a Drops Fable in green apple green, and then this is a color from Ginger Snap Yarns from Calgary, Alberta. It's Bee Balm. It was a leftover from a skein that I did. I knit a pair last year. So I did it toe up so I wouldn't run out of yarn, and I used every single little bit of it. There's a shorter rib here because I ran out of the Bee Balm, and I just put a little contrast of the apple green. So these are for me. So I won't even block these. I'll just put them in my drawer and start wearing them because I don't block my own socks. I just block them for pictures. However, I do have to put pictures on my Ravelry page. The other one, the second last. So if you were here last time, I pulled out my Musselburgh hat that I had done a kind of a neutral beige on one half, and I'd done a really pretty green, speckly green. Do I have it? Yes, I do. Hang on. Grab the right project bag. This is one of my favorites. This is from Studio Britta. She's a Canadian maker and does machine embroidery on her project bags. So it was this really pretty Rosehill yarn that I had used, but I was running out, and I was going to run out. I was not going to get this Musselburgh hat finished, so I decided to rip it out. I know it was about 7 inches of knitting, 6 inches of knitting, but it was fine. I just, after I finished recording that afternoon or that evening, last time I was here, I just put the needles in to the beige and then ripped out the green and divided it in two. So you can see I still have more than I thought I was going to have left, but I didn't want to choose another project and run out of yarn. So this is what I did. I combined this Rosehill with these two Knit Picks yarns. So these are both Stroll. Rainforest Heather is the darker green, and it's got a lot of really, I'm not sure if the camera will pick it up, it's very heathered. It's got kind of an oil slick feel to it with pinks and blues and yellows in there. And then Patina. These are fairly old stash. There's a lot of things going around about Knit Picks right now, and there being bugs in their yarn orders coming out. So I got no proof of that, but it's what I'm hearing around the internets right now. So beside the point. What I did was cast on a pair of socks. Toe up. I used my dune grass or my wintry woods, either one, but I didn't do the stitch patterns. I just did a vanilla striped sock. So what I did was the rainforest heather for the toe and the heel, and then I striped the patina. I did 3 rounds of the rose hill and 5 rounds of the patina. And these just flew off the needles. I didn't do any, I don't think I did any stripe management. Doesn't look like it. So you can, I've got a bit of a jog there. And what I do is I just carry the yarn up the inside of the sock. Just give it a little tug, nothing too tight, and then just pick it up and go. What I did do is I made sure that the jog was on a different side of each sock. So I'll have the jog on the inside of the foot on both of these. So, actually I'm lying to you. You know what I've done? I've got the jog on the foot and I've got the jog on this side on the leg. So I screwed that up. It's fine. They're just for me. It was using leftovers. I really enjoyed knitting them. So my planned jog management didn't work because I screwed it up. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So done, also not blocked. But again, they're for me, so just going to go into my sock drawer. All right. And the last finished object, the longest standing finished object, or whip that I had, is the aforementioned Musselburgh hat. I got it done. So, I don't know if this is crazy. I'm not sure if I like this or if I don't like it. Sam was here on the weekend and she said she liked it. So, what I did that night after I finished recording, I went into my stash. I wanted to use something that was left over. I didn't want to use a full skein, but obviously it had to be more than 40 grams. And I didn't have anything that was already pre-wound up. So I was digging in my stash and I found, this is a very old barn board from a sweet skein of mine, Amanda. I know how old it is because of the ball band. So this is, I think, is from 2018. Yeah, 2018 is when I got that. I remember it because I think I had got it in an order before my husband had his heart surgery, and that was in March of 2018. So yeah, anyway, I digress. And then Creative Knitter. This was one of the colors she sent me last year for Knit City Toronto collaboration. You look at them, look at the mess of them both there. Oh yeah, and there's the last of the Cami Jo Knits beige from the main part. So, yeah, this Creative Knitter, kind of a, it's an orangey brown, kind of tobacco-y color. Anyway, I thought it went with barn board really nicely. I'm not sure how well either of them went with the Cami Jo knit, but I knew I'd have enough, and I did, so I'm going to make up some minis out of this leftover. And I just finished this yesterday afternoon, so I just wove in the final ends this morning. It hasn't been blocked. And I think Sam is going to have this to give as a gift. So if you're not familiar with the Musselburgh hat, it is by Isolde Teague, and you knit it like a giant sausage. It's closed on both ends, so this can either be a super slouchy hat like this, or you can cuff it and get the contrast. I said, it's not my colors, that's for sure, but I think I like the look of it. So it can be worn either direction. So if you want a more neutral with a lot of slouch, or you can cuff it and have some fun stripes. I don't know if that's crazy. Actually, that's kind of cute. Anyway, it's done. It's off my needles. I have a feeling I should just cast another one on in a really pretty full skein of hand dyed. or hand spun, because the need for vanilla is strong. So I think I decided, yeah, I looked at Ravelry. I cast this on December 1st, November 30th or December 1st, because I was knitting on this when Sam and I went to see Wicked in the theater. It was the first day of Vlogmas last year in 2024. So actually, I think that's really kind of cute in that direction, more so than the other way. Huh. There we go. I will give this a quick block, and I'm going to see Sam next weekend, so I'll give it to her then. She's going to gift it to a friend who dog sits for them a lot. She thought that she would like it. I'm like, fabulous. I didn't have a home for it, so. For me, Musselburgh is more the vanilla process. It's funny, vanilla socks bore me to tears. That Musselburgh hat, love it. All right. That's it for finished objects. So let's move on to whips. And because I finished everything, they're all new. They're all new whips. So let's start with, when I left you last time, the thing I was most excited to start, and I did. So in this gorgeous bag from Michelle's Creations, who's a maker here in New Brunswick, I got this very kindly as a gift at Fiddlehead Fibre Festival in April, and this has 2 projects in it because it's a good size, and I just shoved the Lay Family yarns in there. And so let's start with, I'm cast on with the sock blank, and I am just pulling off the end and knitting, and it's delightful. I was with non-knitter friends last weekend, and I was working on this project, and Brad's friend looked at me and went, "Why is your yarn crinkly? It looks like it's already been knit with." And he usually expresses zero interest in my knitting. So I pulled it out and explained it, and he's, "But why?" "'Cause it's fun." He didn't understand why I was doing it. But he did realize what was going on. So just a muggle, non-knitter opinion of the world. So I have 1 sock finished and 2nd sock is going. So with this sock blank, Kelly very kindly gifted me 3 minis. And I was trying to think of the best way to be able to use them all. And I'm really, really happy with this. So I have used, so I've done the kind of hydrangea bluey purple as a pop of color, and the heel flap and heel turn. Obviously the sock blank is the main color. What I've done with the other 2 colors, I've used the mosaic slip stitch pattern from my Sliptastic socks. Kind of. I skipped the purl. I just did knit. I made it a little smaller, not as tall, by skipping the purl bump mosaics. But I just used a mosaic slip stitch, and then I repeated it again at the toe. So I've got stripes on the sole, and I've got the mosaic on the top, and then I just did the toe in the mane. Oh, I love it. I love it, love it, love it so much. So I've got 1 finished, and I've got the other one past the heel turn. And as I said, I was knitting this last weekend when my husband's best friend visited, and had looked at the first sock and thought I knew what the color order was, and I was wrong. So I only realized it after I finished the orange, and I didn't really want to rip back 8 rounds or whatever it was of knitting, so I just went with it and I reversed them. So this one has the green orange, this one is going orange green, and I will do the same on the toe section, this little extra bit on the bottom. At the bottom here, I'll do the same thing. I'll reverse it, and it'll be green orange so it matches. So I have two kind of matching and mismatching socks. So I don't know if you can see it. This is much greener for the sock blank, and this one is coming up much more of the oranges and purples on the sock blank, which is just, well, I love them so much. They're just magic. This is a new stitch marker that my friend Leanne made for me. Leanne Sits, Knits, Reads. So I just popped that on there. Yeah, so I'm really enjoying these. I turned the heel. We were out with friends yesterday afternoon at a local patio on the river. So I turned the heel yesterday, picked up the gusset, and started down the leg. So they will be done next time I come to see you. And then the other yarn that Kelly had sent me was, hang on, I've already ripped, I went to pull the sock blank sock out of the bag yesterday and pulled all of the stitches off one of the needles. Of course, the pattern side, not the vanilla side. So that was a bit of a mess. So this is Beach Hut from Lay Family Yarns, one of their self-striping colors, and this fantastic speckled mini. So this was a 50 gram, 20 gram set. And I'm going cuff down. I'm going to do an afterthought heel. So what I'm going to do is I weighed this when I started, and I'm just weighing it as I go. When I get to 25 grams, I'm going to put the toe on in the speckle, and then I'll come back and cut the heel in and do the heel in the speckle. So, yeah, just look. The stripes are gorgeous. The speckle has kind of all the colors of those stripes in there. And what I decided to do is a modification of my Smoke Gets in Your Eyes pattern. Just gonna have a sip. Just gonna have a sip. So, Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. I can't remember what the pattern repeat is. Is it 5? I think it's 5, maybe 6. What I decided with a little 1/2 cable. So what I decided to do instead is take the 2 pattern rounds and just kind of position them in the center to get those cables in the center of the stripe. Some have worked better than others. This is a little too high, but it doesn't matter. It's done what I wanted it to do. It's kind of given a little interest in the middle of the stripes. So that's just a really different modification to try with your patterns. I said you don't need to follow the pattern just because that's what the pattern says to do something. You can always mix it up and try something different. So the big thing that when I listened to Kelly talk about these stripes when they were developing them, and how hard Nick worked on these stripes, can really see when the stripe transitions. So right here, there's no half orange stitch and half yellow stitch. It's just instantly, it's very, very precise. It's beautiful. What I am going to have an issue with, probably, I didn't want to wind off this pink. So what I normally do with self-striping yarn is I get to the color change and then I do the cast on at the color change so I can replicate it for the next sock. This pink looked like there was a lot on there, and not knowing how wide the stripes were, I didn't want to throw away that, wind it off and throw it away. So I just took a risk, and it is about 1.5 stripes to 2 stripes short. So I may have a hard time. I wasn't going to match the stripes in color, but I am going to need to match the stripes in thickness. So I have made my job difficult for the second sock. It's fine. I'll figure it out. But yeah, I'm incredibly happy with this. I haven't worked on this a lot in the last week or two. It's been mostly the sock blank, And I got the Advent sock pattern knit up and written and into testing for the Lay Family Yarns Advent. Kelly is doing a 4-week Advent. I think you're getting a shawl from Twin Set and Pearl, a hat from Kelly herself, a hot water bottle cover from Laura Penrose, and a sock pattern from me. So that pattern is in testing. You will not see it until December. It is super, super secret. I just have a few people testing it for me, just to, again, keep the group small. This pattern, when it does come out, will only be available for the Advent, and I will let you know when I have the rights back and sell it. It won't be until 2026. So this will probably come back up into the forefront of my knitting, because really I'm just knitting the tube, and it is as long as it is, and then I'll just measure and put the afterthought heel in. And we'll talk about that afterthought heel next time. I'm going to use the Talvy Knits tutorial to put in short row gussets in the corner. So we'll talk about that more. And if you're taking my Snip Snip Afterthought Forethought heel class anywhere, we talk about that and do demos of that as well. So, all right, I think that's, I was supposed to say, I think that's last sock, and I'm lying. So, if you've been around for a while, you know I'm a big fan of Libby Johnson, Truly Myrtle. I used to do a lot of test knits for her garments. I'm a moderator. I don't do a lot because of the time change. Anyway, let's not. I'm shirking my duties as a moderator for Libby these days. I hop in and out when I can, but yeah. She showed a pattern on her podcast, a new sock pattern. She's into accessories right now, which she doesn't usually do a lot of. So I reached out to her, and I knew she was going to be doing a test call, and I said, would it be weird if I test knit that sock when the call comes out? I'd love to, because it's socks, and I love to, and I haven't test knit, and I haven't test knit a sock pattern in years and years, but I really like the look of this one. So I asked Libby if I could test knit it. She said yes, and I know I'm allowed to show it because I'm not going to try and put this on a sock blocker. I'm doing it on a 9-inch circular. This is Diva. So I don't have as much done as I probably should have because I got distracted. I'm knitting the largest size. So the stitch count is quite a bit larger than usual because of all of the slip stitches. You don't get as much stretch going across here. So I've picked, these are going to be for my son Zach. I've already knit him a pair of socks for this year for Christmas. He may get 2, or I may save this pair for his birthday next March. We shall see. Oh, that's a nice breeze. But I'm knitting this on a 9-inch circular. It uses 2 colors. I am using, again, knit picks from my deep stash. Actually, it's not that deep. I got this when I did an order last summer, I think. So this is Stroll Tonal in the Manatee color. And I kind of picked this, I'm not in the center of the screen. I kind of picked this for Zach because he had a thing for manatees when he was very young. Yeah. And I also thought the color looked really nice with this. I was trying to find something quite high contrast. So this is Drops Fable in the colorway 104. So yeah, so it's top down. Dropping stitches, of course I am. 9-inch circulars. Fix that later. I'm holding this in my new Ginger Snap bag that Kim very kindly gifted me at Knit City Montreal. So yeah, this is as far as I've gotten. I need to get back to this one as well. The test deadline is until the end of August. It's a very generous test, but I need to not procrastinate and wait till the very end because I'm a terrible procrastinator. So yeah, And so that's the last sock whip. And I have resurrected my Laya. The Laya that I abandoned in April when I realized it wasn't going to fit me for Knit City Montreal. I decided I'm going to finish it anyway, and it will fit me when it fits me. I decided to pick up and work on the sleeve, so I don't have much longer. I'm actually probably going to start the cuff quite soon. I just need to measure my Laya sleeve from the one I just finished. So I should rewind. This is Laya by Isabel Kramer. I cast this on for my birthday in April 2024. I apologize if you can hear that noise. All of a sudden there's some heavy equipment on across the road, like a few hundred feet away, but it's a tractor and he's moving. Yeah, so I apologize if you can hear that. We're gonna carry on. I thought he was done for the day. Laya, Isabel Kramer, cast this on, and then I hibernated it for the winter, came back to try it on to get it ready for Knit City Montreal, and it didn't fit. It was too small. Hibernating things is not good for me. Anyway, so I just need to measure my Laya sleeves that I have, my Laya sleeve that I already have, and see how much longer I want to do that. And then I'll repeat, do the other sleeve, and then I'll go back to the body and I will carry on. I am doing my usual A-line increases. So down the side of all of my t-shirts, I do A-line increases. Where's the stitch marker? Oh goodness, there it is. So I create a center seam or a side seam, and I just do increases on either side every inch or so to give me an A-line shape to my t-shirts to accommodate my pear-shaped self. So this is in Silk and Linen Fingering by Yarn Indulgences. I can't remember what the color was. Doesn't really matter. Deborah does one-of-a-kind colors most of the time and doesn't have repeatables. It's called Twilight. So this has come back out, and again, just nice, easy, vanilla, round and round. I'm helical knitting between two skeins to try and avoid any color pooling or flashing. So I wasn't going to show you this, but I wanted to be honest that it's come back out. I'm just going to finish it, and who knows, maybe by the time I'm done, it will fit. Ever the optimist. Okay, the last whip. I thought that the Laya was the last whip. I forgot. It wasn't in my basket. I've got it hiding in my Doris Ann basket. Savoie Baskets. I got this at... No, she custom made this for me at Fiddlehead Fibre Festival. No. At our winter gathering in 2024, Doris Ann was there with her baskets, and she sold out of most of them, which was fantastic. But I really wanted one of these swing top baskets, squeak squeak. And because I was doing a custom, Doris Ann did, I asked for specific colors for the bands. So in here I have cast on Salty Days by Veronica Lindberg. This is another knit for Sam using Sandness Garn, Lena, which is a DK. It's, I think online it's called Slate, but the color is 6080. I cast this on for something for myself last summer and thought, no. And I wasn't happy with the way it was going either, so I ripped it out and threw it all into this bag. This is yarn that I bought at La Violette Yarn Gift & Co. before Manon closed her store in 2023? Can't remember. Doesn't matter. So I have some balls that had already been knit, so I had a variety of sizes of balls in this. So I had started working with those for the smaller sections. So this is a drop shoulder design. I did not get gauge. because she recommends a fluffy yarn which fills in the space more. So I had to go down a needle. I had to go down, I think she recommends her gauge at 5mm. I'm on a 4mm needle to get the gauge that I liked. It was too open. I knew it was going to be too open at 5mm. I didn't even gauge swatch at 5mm. And I kind of did a little bit of sweater math, and Sam and Rob and Maverick spent the night with us on Friday, and Maverick ran away with this little ball. Maverick is their newer puppy. He's 9 months old. He's a black lab. They were up to do some kind of training or certification, and they just used us for an Airbnb on Friday night. But Maverick found this ball and ran with it. So I picked a size bigger than was recommended for Samantha's size to offset the gauge, the smaller gauge I was getting. And then I'm looking at it. It's supposed to be quite an oversized drop shoulder. And I had her try it on because I'm concerned that this isn't enough ease. I'm concerned, yeah. I'm definitely not getting row gauge, and I didn't allow for that either. So if we look at the design picture of the Salty Days, there's defined chunks of pattern that are specific number of rows. And so with my row gauge also being off, the motifs are quite a bit smaller, shorter. They're smaller this way, but I can accommodate for that. But they're also shorter, which means I need to make adjustments in the length, and I didn't think about that before I got too far. So, as I said, I did have her try it on, and it's okay. Again, where this is a linen viscose cotton blend, 53% cotton, 33% viscose, 14% linen. That's the other reason I didn't want to do it on too big a needle, because I was worried it would just stretch and lose its shape. So my thought process is, after she tried it on, we kind of said, I don't want it to be too sloppy. I don't want it to stretch too much, being too heavy. And I haven't blocked this yet either. So it's got this kind of 2x1 ribbing. And I think I can get some more stretch out of that. But as you know, with knitted fabric, you stretch it this way, it shortens this way. And there's only really one motif and the ribbing that I can lengthen. I'm tempted to rip it back to just before this eyelet section and add an extra inch or so of the ribbing on both the front and the back. So the way this works is you cast on at the back and work your way down to where you're going to join in the round for under the sleeves. Then you pick up the front, the two fronts. This is really pretty. I'm not sure, can you see that? Yeah, the eyelet design there is what the pickup is. Really, really pretty. Kind of this diagonal shaping. Very similar to what I just did for the summer sessions for Samantha Guerin. Very similar. This has got fiber all over it, these little yellow fibers, and I'll show you that when we get to spinning. So I am tempted to rip back to the end of the ribbing. If I'm going to keep this size, I think I need to steam block it and see what it does. I really don't want to rip it all the way out and cast on a new size. Again, the fear of it stretching because of the plant-based fiber. I know this yarn stretches. So I think I want to pin it to get this rib stretched out, and give it a quick spray or steam and let it dry, and then measure it and see what I think before I decide if I'm doing a new size or if I'm just going to rip back and start putting some more length in. So you can you see? So I've got this really nice kind of eyelet bands, which can't adjust. This diamond lace pattern, can't really adjust that. I could put some more knit rounds above and below it, but I think that would change the look of it too much. The next section that I'm working on right now is kind of garter, rows of garter with cables. I can add extra rows to that, no problem. And then I've got another eyelet, another diamond, another eyelet, and then just this ribbing at the bottom. And I can make that ribbing longer. But in order to keep the sweater in balance, I think I do need to add more ribbing at the shoulder here. When we looked at the picture of the model wearing the sweater, this diamond was almost below the bust, and for Sam it's sitting up on her upper bust, upper to full bust. So I'm about at least 1.5 inches short already, and again, this hasn't been blocked, but so this is kind of percolating. I'm going to do that this afternoon. I'm going to either steam block it or spray block it, pin it out, and just see how the actual measurements come out. I'm loving the way it's looking on the slate, charcoal, whatever the color is. I was worried that the design wouldn't be visible, but you can see, you know, if she was wearing it just against her skin or with a white tank underneath, you know, the lace and stuff is really visible. So I'm happy with the way it's looking. I just have to figure out my next steps on sizing and row gauge. So I will have a solution for that next time I see you in 3 weeks. Put everything back in the basket. All right, that is the last whip. So that's kind of fun. Kind of all new if we don't count Laia. I'm not really sure if I'm really counting Laia. I wanted to show you some cross stitch next. I said last time I was here I was feeling the urge to do different things, and I got caught up in the Advent design, so I didn't quite get as much stitching as I wanted, but I did get some work done on this knitter sampler. Trying to avoid the glare here. I'm outside, but I still wanted to put my ring light on today because it's a bit gloomy. That flash of sun that came out a little while ago, that was really short. And I'm okay with that because the breeze is quite cool. So I got this done and this. I think that's all I got done. These 3 motifs, and I started this little, almost looks like a quilt section to me, but yeah, I think that's all I'd gotten done. So not quite as much as I wanted, but I will get back to it. And the other one I had plans on working on, but hadn't, and I wanted to bring it out for accountability because it's been lingering. It's quite close to being finished, and I just need to finish it. The problem I'm having is that I have stolen DMC floss out of the bag to use for other projects, and I had done some color replacements. I didn't have the exact colors given in the pattern, so I'd switched colors out, and I don't think I wrote them down correctly because I just on the pattern I just have the colors that are recommended. I don't have what I actually did. So that's proving a little problematic, and that's why I haven't touched it for months and months, and I really need to get back to it. So this is Summer Sampler by Jardin Privé. I've got the spring one completed. I've got the fall and winter ones I haven't even started. I'm doing this on an even weave that was in my stash. Ice blue linen, 32 count. So I've just got the bottom motifs to finish and any specialty stitches, back stitches I haven't done yet. So I don't have that much, but as I said, I'm running into problems of colors. So I may just have to try and do the best color matches I can. I've been through my other project bags because I probably have another 3 or 4 cross stitch whips going. I've been through there to see if I've stolen the colors, because the fact that I don't have it written on the sheet for the change of colors makes me think I didn't change the colors and maybe I've just stolen them for another project, but I can't find those exact colors in my other project bags. So this is accountability. I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to get back to this because it's so close to being done. And then I could start fall. It won't be finished in fall. And I'm tempted to, maybe I'll just start winter. But I already have a winter one that oh no, I did finish that one. Oh no, that's what I'll do. I was going to say, I've already got a winter one going. I do not. I finished my chalkboard board winter one. I just haven't finished it, framed it, or mounted it. So yeah, and I do have another fall one going. So that's what I'll do. I'm going to finish this and then I'm going to start winter. Because I might have a snowball's chance in hell of getting winter done before December 20th. So yeah, I know I've got straight stitches and stuff to do on these flowers at the top. No, those flowers at the top. I just need to get back at it. It's really pretty. I really like it. I just need to get back to it. So I will show you my progress. God willing, a finish in 3 weeks. What do you think? What do you think? So that's what I brought you for spinning and stitching. I was going to start a new embroidery for Sam. I haven't done that. Did I print it off? Can't remember if I printed it off now. Yeah, that hasn't happened either. And with these two trying to finish, it probably won't get done for a while. But okay, get those out of the way. Spinning. This is a bumper spinning episode because Tour de Fleece is happening. This is a spin along that happens that's adjacent to the Tour de France. So I've been watching on YouTube every now and again. You can get a full stage. So that's been fun to watch, but most often I'm just watching the 8-10 minute highlights at the end of the day because I don't have access to, I don't have a VPN and I don't have access to the Tour de France through any of my channels. And I'm not paying the crazy amount of money that they would like me to pay for 3 weeks of Tour de France. I enjoy watching it, but I'm probably enjoying the scenery more than I enjoy the shenanigans. When they crash, I'm gasping and clutching my pearls and yeah, anyway, it's been fun. I've been enjoying it this year. So let me show you what I'm currently working on, and then I'll show you then I'll show you what I've finished. So back in 2021 or 2, I cannot remember, I did an order with John Arbin Textiles out of the UK for Fibre. Their tops are very inexpensive, really different blends. So I had gotten a 4-color fade. I'm just going to put a picture in here that I put on Instagram earlier in the week because I think it will probably show better than me trying to hold it up. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to hold it up, but this will be easier. It is the apple door top And I got a 4-color fade starting with this golden knob. So these are all apple colorways. That name sounds dirty. Sorry. It is 40% Devon Closewool, 40% Romney, 20% Exmoor Blueface. It's not, and it took me a little while to kind of get used to the feel of it. It's very hairy. I'm not sure if you can see, but these yellow hairs have been everywhere. That's what was clinging to Sam's Salty Days. So 4 ounces, I can normally get 4 ounces on 2 of my nano bobbins. Well, I couldn't. So I divided the fiber in half, spun 1 full bobbin, and then I ended up having to do 2-part bobbins. So I've got 1 and a part and 1 and a part for each half. So the plan for this is to 2-ply it. It's not that it's been inconsistent, but yeah, it's got some thick and thin. Hopefully the 2-ply will help with that. So it's yellows and kind of almost like a deep purpley gray. I thought it was black when I started working with it. And sometimes it comes up more like a green, an acidy green, and sometimes it's coming up more bright yellow depending on how it was blended. So this is what I spun this week. 4 ounces of the apple door in the golden knob. So I'm going to start plying this afternoon. And then the next color in my fade is this one. And it is Spicy Pippin. So it's still got the yellow and that kind of lavendery gray, dark gray, but we're starting to introduce greens and turquoisey teal colors, which, this is why I went with this fade. I started with the golden knob because it's probably my least favorite out of the 4, but it all makes sense when you start to see with this. So from there, it will go into this one, which is more of the gray, more of the tealy turquoise. It is hangy down. So just a little bit of the yellow left in there. And then it will go to, let me just put the tag back so I make sure I've got the right tag with the right fiber. Then it's going to go into, of course, I don't know, I was going to say it's my favorite color, but I can't say that. Tom Putt. So it's going into, now this, because this last one now has none of the yellow in, it's just the gray, the teal, the turquoise, turquoisey blue. So you can kind of see where we're going. Yeah, like I said, the picture's probably better. I told you I was going to try to show you. Okay, let me just put these back in the right order. Tom Putt, hanging down, and so part of me thinks this might be my favorite. Hard to say. Spicy Pippin. So that is the current spin. I'm going to spin up the singles of each color, and then I'm going to apply them right away. So I will apply this afternoon, this evening, and hopefully start Spicy Pippin on my singles tonight on my little nano. So I am, the beginning of the video, you will see me finishing up the spin of the golden knob on my little nano, my Dreaming Robots electric EEW nano. I ply on my 6.0, my bigger wheel. It has 8-ounce bobbins, so easily will fit all of that on it. I'm just housing it very glamorously in the little plastic bags that they sent it over in. So that is what I'm currently spinning. What I finished. So I showed you this Sweet Georgia last time that I had finished, but I hadn't measured it. I got 352 yards out of a 3-ply. So I just reuse the tag or ball band that comes with it and write the details on there. And so this will go into my stash. Yeah, I don't know what it will be. It's got a real sheen to it. I was originally thinking I was spinning this for socks, but I don't know if this is socks. But and then I can't remember if I had finished spinning this 3 weeks ago. Hang on a second, I can tell you. Spinning, and if I started new. No, I hadn't. So this is Wool of the Andes from Knit Picks. It was just a unspun roving. So their Wool of the Andes, I think, is Peruvian, non-superwash Peruvian Highland wool. Colorway is Fjord Heather, and it is kind of light icy blue colors with shots of gray. So I 2-plied this. I got 261 yards out of 100 grams. That's quite a bit thicker than I normally spin, but this was just the way this one kind of wanted to be. So this is DK, which is great. I don't very often get a true DK. I tend to be more in the sporty to heavy fingering. So that has been washed and thwacked and measured and into my stash. And, sorry, my notes just fell. Where's the last one? There it is. Okay. Sorry as I disappear. This fiber I had showed you last time. I can't remember if I was spinning it or not. I'll put a picture in here of what it looked like originally. This is from Leo and Roxy. I got this at Atlantic Yarn Fiber Festival in Shediac on June that we had this past June. This is called Lucky Charms. It's 100% merino. 115 grams. So this has been washed, dried, and thwacked, but it has not been measured yet. It's 3-ply. It's sport, if not heading to a DK. It's quite thick. Isn't it amazing? The colors were so bright and vibrant, and this is giving me, I don't know why, it's giving me autumn feels, this one. So yeah, it was a really fun spin. It really plumped up when I washed it, but yeah, I think this is coming up to, I think when I measure it, it's going to come up to a DK. So that was fun. So before I put this into my stash, I need to do my yardage on it and write it on my tag so I know. I don't know why I'm trying to do this when I'm talking to you. I'm terrible at making skeins. Terrible at making skeins. My friend Deborah has taught me numerous times and I still make a sucky skein. But it's just going into my stash, so it's all good. So that's what I've got going for spinning. I talked about maybe knitting myself a cardigan out of my hand spun. That's kind of been put on hold just because I've been distracted with other things. For no other reason than I've been distracted by other things. I'm really enjoying the spinning. I'm spending an hour or two spinning every day. So smaller, projects are kind of holding my interest. Actually, there was 2 days of Tour de Fleece I didn't actually spin because I was so into that Salty Days. It's a really fun knit with the different textures, and I was worried I was going to find it difficult to concentrate on, but no, I really like it. Yeah, so okay, let's do the giftaway before I get chatting and forget completely about what I'm doing. Hang on, I've got some of that John Arbon fluff in my mouth. It gets everywhere. Okay. So the last winner, April, got in touch with me and her package went into the mail. She is actually not far from me in New Brunswick. So that was great. So hopefully that it should have gotten to her by now. The winner for this episode, I'm just going to grab the prize. It was for this already pancaked, vacuum sealed sock marl from Deborah at Yarn Indulgences. And I decided to pair this with a maple mousse fiber bag that I bought at Atlantic Yarn Fibre Festival. And I'm going to put some goodies in there. Did I already? Yes, I did. Some stitch markers, fun little pin. I'm not going to show them just so they can be a surprise for you when they get to you. So the winner is, I already did the draw. Hang on, let me grab my notes again so I have it correct. It will be, the winner's name will be on the screen, and the draw for accountability. Winner is Rosemary O'Brien 2569. Congratulations, Rosemary. If you can get in touch with me at the email linked below in the description box, and send me an email with your mailing address, and I will get that out to you as soon as I can. Should be easy because it's already vacuum sealed. Just a matter of firing it in an envelope. There were 412 comments. Thank you so much. I am behind. I am catching up with comments as I can, and I apologize if I haven't gotten to yours yet. I just want to wish everybody happy birthday, happy anniversary, all of your fun celebrations and things that are coming up in July. There were so many. So if I've already missed it, happy belated. If it's coming up, I hope you have a wonderful month. And thanks for playing along, everybody. It's, yeah, I always say it. I love to come and have a chat. So we are now moving on to acquisitions and chat. So, yarn-wise, I went to my local yarn shop, 3 bags full, looking for some yarn to do some knits for a friend of Samantha's. Samantha's maid of honor is expecting a baby in September? I can't remember. Later this year, a little girl, but they're going, more neutral, not pink, which is fine. I went and grabbed some Cascade Heritage because it's great. Superwash merino nylon. If it goes in the dryer, it's not gonna ruin it. She's not a crafty person, so I expect this to be treated hard. But again, with baby knits, they're gonna grow out of them before they wear out of them. I'm not worried about it. Color is 5635. It's really pretty, kind of mid-tone green. It's not olivey. It's just a pretty kind of almost field green. So I took some pictures while I was at the shop and sent them to Sam, and this is what she picked. So I am going to do a beloved bonnet holding the yarn double. I'm going to do it in the smallest size. Maybe the baby's not due until, it doesn't matter. For some reason, I'm thinking colder weather, so I'm going to do the smallest size of the beloved bonnet. I'm going to do a pair, that's the yarn held double. Then I'm going to do a pair of baby socks with the yarn held single, and then I'm going to do the baby pants, the drops baby pants. I've done now, 3 times? Which is fingering weight, so the yarn will be held single. And I will knit them for as much yarn as I have. So I'll knit the body of the pant and the bum, and then I'll divide whatever yarn I have left, and that will be as long as the legs are. Yeah, because when I did the larger beloved bonnet, I didn't have enough to do matching pants and socks. So I think doing smaller sizes and doing it in that order, beloved bonnet, socks, and then the pants. I usually lengthen the legs on the pants because they can be cuffed. So I'll get as far as I get, basically. So that is an acquisition, and probably cast those on soon-ish, maybe. I'm getting to the bottom of my basket. I had done a pre-order from a lovely Antonella. This is the first time I've bought Cozy Posy yarns. And at Fiddlehead Fibre Festival, at Fiddlehead Fibre Festival, Antonella from Cozy Posy Yarns was doing a pre-order for her Canada collection. And we were all at Fiddlehead Fibre Festival ordering yarns, pre-ordering yarns as we were eating our dinner and knitting and having a grand old time on a Saturday night. So mine arrived and I have plans. So they came, I chose the letter mail option. So they came as yarn jerky in the vacuum seal. So I ordered 2. This is Nova Scotia. Hang on a second, let me just get this a little bit smaller to see. Which is kind of deep sprucey blues leading to some brighter blues, and then, or greens, leading to a little bit of some turquoisey green with the lighter. So this is Nova Scotia, which was kind of supplementary. What I really wanted was New Brunswick for a reason. So I've got the yarn tags here. And Tanella included the yarn tags. Is this up the right way? Nope. So Cozy Cozy Yarn Co. This is her Eco Sock base that I chose. You could have had these colors on any of her yarn bases. So I got both of them in the Eco Sock. New Brunswick was what I really, really wanted. It was kind of a lighthouse sunset scene. And, oh, hang on. It's got, you know, kind of really rich, deep pinks running into some greens and lilac-y lavender colors to oranges. It's just gorgeous. And a little pop of green. So I wasn't sure. My plan for this when I ordered it was for the Miserina tee by Caitlin Hunter. There's a group of us knitting Miserina to have as a group knit for PEI Fibre Festival, which is at the end of September this year. So if you're watching other podcasters, a lot of them have already cast on. I am waiting because I don't want to make it too early because sizing. I was hoping, and I think I'm going to be right, I had ordered this. 1, 2, 3, 4 skeins of Cascade Heritage from La Violette Yarn Gift & Co. when she opened, I think in the fall of 2020. We were still in COVID. I did an order online and then went to the store and picked it up, maybe 2021. It's this really deep, it's showing up bluer on my screen. I don't know what's coming up for you. It's a really green, bluey green, sprucey kind of color. It is 5654. So my hope for the Cozy Posy was that this would be the yoke contrast. It does have some pops of green in there, but not enough. I think it's going to be okay. I think I'm probably going to have to, well, I was going to say swatch. No. I will, when I'm ready to cast on, I will just cast on. And if the color doesn't work, I will switch to something maybe hand spun from my stash. But yeah, because it's kind of got, like I said, it's a lot of pinks and stuff, but it does have some of these deeper greens, but mostly just in speckles. So I'm hoping that this will work for my Miserina. So that was fun to get because I paid for it ages ago, and there was no rush. Instead, we were told how long the pre-order was going to be, and it was ordered based on that. And it was a lovely little package in my mail this week that I paid for ages ago. So it felt like free yarn. So I need to skein those up and put the tags on them. Yeah, like I said, this has been hanging around to be a sweater for quite a while. But as you know, we all get distracted. So yeah, I really hope that that will work. So that came in the mail this week. And then it's Tour de Fleece. And I did Fibre, who was here used to be in Alberta, was in New Brunswick for a couple of years, a year, I can't remember. So I have spun with her Fibre before. She was doing a sale before starting summer vacation, and it was Tour de Fleece, and the tour had just started. So I messaged a couple of friends to see if anybody was interested in going in on an order with me. It was a flat rate shipping that was really reasonable, but you know, the more you get in there, the better. So one of my friends, I already delivered hers to her. I ordered 3 braids of different fibers. Well, except for this one. So this is skinny dipping. And I am sure I have a skein of this that I've already spun up. It didn't look familiar on her website, but as soon as I opened up the package, I'm like, oh, I think I've had this one before. So I probably have a skein, which I should dig out and see what I did it, whether it was a 3-ply or a 2-ply, and see if I could match it, and then I'm going to have more of the same color. So it's Corriedale, 87.5% Corriedale, 12.5% nylon. So the nylon, I don't know if you can see, is the sparkle. It's not stellina, but it's definitely slick. So beautiful color, my color. So like I said, I'm sure I already have a skein of this that I spun up a couple of years ago. So I got to dig in my hand spun and see A, how it spun up, and B, if I want to replicate it. So I have 2 skeins the same. So I got 3 braids, I should say. This one I wanted to try. This is Over the Rainbow in Perrindale, which I have never spun before. So this is kind of a rainbow gradient that I would like to chain ply, probably, to hold the gradient in place. I don't chain ply very often. Sometimes I just chicken out and I just strip the fiber in half, spin one half and then the other half, but they're never going to match because my consistency. These braids are 150 grams. They're a little bit bigger as well. So this is quite squidgy, not as soft, but I just thought I wanted to try a different fiber, and I like the rainbow. And this one, I think this one's my favorite. If we have to have a favorite, this one is it. It's called Electric Slide. So it is Polworth, bamboo, and nylon. In a perfect world, I'd like to think I could spin this for socks. But, I'm assuming, I don't know if you can see these I'm assuming this is the bamboo, and I'm not sure if it's going to make it flecky, if it's going to draft out to be the same consistency, or if it's going to be flecky. Not usually a fan of flecky, but let's see what I can do. But at 150 grams, my thought process is spin it up as a 3-ply, a fine 3-ply for socks, and then I'd like to 2 skeins. I just divide the fiber in half and do 2 skeins. I'd like to send a skein to a friend and have a skein for me, and then we could have matching socks. I thought that'd be fun. So I think this is going on my wheel next. I think. But then, and that's if I get the John Arbon. Like I said, I've got that John Arbon's going to be a lot of spinning. But then, my friend Deborah from Yarn Indulgences, she has dyed fiber in the past, and she takes it to some shows, but not all of them. And she has got this base that I love. It's branded under East Coast hand-dyed fiber. If you're interested, just contact Deborah. I'm sure there isn't any on the website. She messaged me and said, would you like some of the... Oh, yeah, I was talking about the base. 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. It is the bomb for socks. I love spinning it. It spins, it drafts beautifully evenly. I get a very consistent, thin single, and then I get a great sock weight yarn on a 3-ply. So she asked if I wanted any, because she had still quite a bit kicking around, and asked if I had any suggestions for dyeing colors. which I forgot to answer, but I said yes, please, to the fiber. So I've had something like this one before. This is 138 grams. Purples, a little bit of pink, natural. This one I've never had before. It's kind of dusty rose with the teal and lots of white space. And then that one's 137 grams, and this one is 88 grams of greens and blues. A lot less of the undyed in there. So that's in my stash. Thank you so much. That feels like an epic acquisition section. Yeah. The breeze has stopped and it's gotten a little muggy. So, chat. There's a few things I keep forgetting to talk about because there's been so much other stuff going on. I will be attending Knit City Vancouver, September 26th, 27th, 28th. We're flying in on Thursday the 25th. I'm going with Deborah from Yarn Indulgences. She has a booth there, so we're flying in Thursday the 25th, setting up on the Friday the 26th, I guess, yeah, and the show is 27th, 28th. So if you're going to Knit City Vancouver, please come and say hello. I will be at the booth most of the time, but I'll also be wandering around drooling because there will be lots of yarn dyers and companies that I've never seen in person before being out on the West Coast. So I'm very much looking forward to that. As I said, we've just bought our plane tickets yesterday. So I'm confirming that with you. Let me know if you're going to Vancouver, and I'll talk more about it when we get closer. The other exciting news is that Brad, and I will be traveling August 30th to September 11th. We are flying into Amsterdam. We are going to be spending some time in the Netherlands, in Belgium, and doing a short little day trip into France to see something specific, couple specific things. So if you have any suggestions for me for this trip, we're going to be renting a car just for one day. We're going to be mostly relying on train travel. We're renting a car just for one day to go to Dunkirk and then down to Vimy Ridge. We're big history buffs. So we're spending a day doing that. But most of the time we're going to be spending time looking at the beautiful buildings, museums, the scenery, enjoying cafes. Yeah, really, I'm deep in the planning right now, which takes so much time. I have like 20 windows open on my desktop, between TripAdvisor and Expedia and Google Maps and, just trying to book hotels, figure out how many days we need in each place. So I am the planner, so I'm deep into that right now. And Brad just goes, yeah, sounds great. Yeah, good. I'm easy, whatever. So, yeah. I'm not sure. When I went to the UK, I've done vlogs before. I'm not sure if I'll do a vlog for this one because I don't know how much nitty content there will be. I think it's just a vacation. I will, of course, I'm sure, be going to Stephen and Penelope in Amsterdam because it's kind of one of those bucket list souvenir shops to go to. But if you have any other suggestions in Bruges, we're only one day in Brussels, so probably not Brussels. We're going to Maastricht, Arnhem, and then finishing up in Amsterdam. Oh, and a couple days in the Hague region in the Netherlands. So yeah, really excited. We met up with friends yesterday. She's got family there. She was born there and travels over there frequently. So, and then my friend Manon traveled there last year. So I have a couple questions to ask her as well. So I'm just kind of gathering information. So if you have any suggestions of things we should do or see, or recommendations, happy to hear that as well. And that's all I have on my list. Yeah. So we're 3 weeks. I'll be back to see you beginning of August, I guess. Next 3 weeks are just regular work schedule, regular life schedule. I will be spinning a lot. Knitting, hopefully getting to that stitching. And then getting the day job taken care of and enjoying the weather. My flowers are looking great. I just gave them a big drink. We haven't had a lot of rain lately. Hoping to get out in the convertibles a little bit as well. Get out for some picnics with Brad for day trips. It was our wedding anniversary on Friday, July 11th. We both forgot it. I texted him at lunchtime, went, oh, insert swear word here. Happy anniversary. I was looking at a report at work for July 11th, went, oh my God. We had seen each other for a couple hours in the morning before he went out to work, and then I went out to work. Yeah, so it was our 33rd wedding anniversary. So we haven't really marked it with anything special, but we have a big trip coming, so it's fine. The little every day is mostly a joy and small annoyances. We get along really well. So, yeah, he's my best friend, and I love to spend time with him, and I feel very lucky to be in that position after this much time. So I think I'm going to wrap it up because now I'm really just babbling. I have nothing else fibery to tell you. I need to clean up this mess, put everything back where it's supposed to be. The craft room is still a complete disaster. I did do a small tidy and it's turned into a disaster again. I don't understand how this happens. My washed sweaters need to be put away into their summer storage. I still haven't done that. Anyway, I'd rather be doing the fun things, and that's not a fun thing. So, all right. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to say goodbye. I wish you happy knitting, lots of it, spinning if you're spinning. Let me know down in the comments below what your favorite thing that you're working on right now. As you can tell from me, it's spinning and socks. I will see you in 3 weeks in August. Happy knitting, happy sipping, and I will see you very soon. Cheers.